Hello. It's so great to be here at RISE, and I'm so excited to tell you about this really special project that was conceived in my lab over the past year. But first, I need to tell you a few words about my startup. As you know, HP is one of those original startups conceived in Silicon Valley in a little garage, and after 78 years, we are still really strong on technology and innovation. And what I'm most proud of, we have this really strong mission of trying to impact people, their lives, wherever they are. And we want to do this by creating experiences, special experiences that amaze people. And in my lab, we actually do that by studying how people work and live. We look at them in their context, we look at their emotions, we look at their motivations and things, and then try to project into the future, knowing what kinds of technologies are coming up, how they're going to feel about it, what will they want, how it will all work for them. And we prototype a lot, we put it out there and try to learn something interesting. So when we think about the future, we look and study really megatrends. And megatrends are really about these big changes, such as rapid urbanization, rise of the big cities, megacities, many here right in Asia. Changing demographics, we know that many countries are now having lower birth rate, the population is aging, healthcare will be impacted definitely, and so on. So with these megatrends as the backdrop, as researchers, we actually try to look at 3 to 7 year horizons, so not immediate products, but a little bit further down. And then we say, what matters to people? What's important to study now? What's important to evaluate and understand? So there are two topics in my lab that we are really keen on. And the first one we call resilience technologies. And resilience, why it's important? Resilience is something that if people have it, they have much easier time overcoming obstacles, adverse situations, they just bounce back easier. And resilience has 3 components: who you are, what's your purpose in life, your connection to your family, your friends, your community, and finally your sense of control over what's happening to you, your destiny. So resilience is really important. And the second area that we research, it's coming really from these new technologies related to 3D printing and additive manufacturing. Because while for so many years in computing we've been designing interfaces on small screens and big screens through different ways, now with 3D printing we can actually design interfaces in the world. We can design parts. We can design buttons, conductive materials, and create a totally new world of interaction. And this is super exciting for us because as HDR researchers, we feel like we are on the completely new wave of developments. So the project I want to tell you about is exactly at the intersection of these two places. And it's really interesting how it started. It started in our brainstorming exercise, and we were trying to think, how can we connect people in different ways? Not through chatting, not through video links or emails or social media, but somehow more gently kind of keep them connected without really connecting them. And then somebody said, well, my daughter really wants to live with grandma. And we've been trying to figure out how to make it happen without naturally moving in with the grandma. So those two ideas together, and what you see on the screen on the left side is our very first prototype. Simple paper, tape, wires, and in the middle is grandma's house. It's like a little snow globe. If you know snow globes, you have been probably traveled, those precious objects that remind us of places we have been and types of experiences we had. And we said, what if a snow globe is a way of connecting to the loved ones? So over the course of 8 weeks, we iterated on the idea, and you see a modern version of the snow globe on the right we call Jetty. So what does Jetty have? Jetty is really an art object. First of all, it has 3D printed residence, like this one. This one traveled with me. It's a replica of a real house. It even has a tiny little doorknob, believe it or not. And we put these replicas in a bigger housing, and we create a image, a holographic image of a real-time weather. So it's as if you're looking at the real house and the environment. And then the third element is presence. When people are at home, the house lights up. When they go away, the house is quiet and dark. And that's it. Nothing more, no buttons, no talking to the house, no other ways. 3 simple features. And we were curious to see how that will play with people. And let me show you in a video what that experience looks like. So pretty interesting and compelling, right? At least that's what the theory is. But we really wanted to test this with real folks in real houses. So we found 5 pairs of parents and adult children who were all living within the Bay Area, but far enough, maybe an hour or 2 apart, and were claiming that they were not keeping as much in touch, they were not as happy about their communication, and we wanted to see what something like a Jetty, which is really a design probe, how would it change their daily lives? Would it create some new routines? What would happen? So we distributed these devices to these 5 pairs, and we basically went and talked to them. We explained what Jetty is like. They were curious, they were surprised, they were delighted in seeing this little reminder of the other person in the form of a home. And we left devices with them. We checked periodically throughout the following weeks in order to see what was going on. And initially it was more like, what can this do for me? What are the features? But very soon, after a couple of days, we saw what's really magic. People stopped talking about technology. They started talking about emotions. They were talking how it was making them feel. And this is one of those moments when you know you hit something deep, because it was really making them connect to their loved ones through a very simple thing, a weather, a sense of home, and a sense of presence, and nothing more. They could tell that their loved ones were doing okay. We were also asking them at the end, how was it? And they said, oh, can I keep it? And how much does the service cost? So anybody who is creating minimum viable products knows That's where you start to really develop things further. It became a fixture in many houses, kids waving through grandma through the house, even though grandma couldn't see them. And it really changed slightly these patterns of interactions. It's, for example, in the case of one mother-in-law and in-law, it was helping mother-in-law getting organized. She was unfortunately experiencing some early signs of cognitive decline, and this was helping her getting grounded. And the daughter-in-law knew when mother-in-law was coming over because the lights would go off, and she says, okay, she's on the way to pop in. So with these things, where do we go? We believe really that this is just scratching the surface. This is just one example how you can deeply personalize technology. We can personalize it through 3D printing, through additive manufacturing, through many other things. And these new materials that we can create can in many ways live as connected devices, elsewhere IoT devices, or perhaps as this little brooch that's right on my body here, and give a little different interaction model. It doesn't have always to be a screen. It can be personal expression. It can remind us of special things. It can give us certain alerts and things like that. So this personalization with deep new materials and really moving toward a people-centric future of the computing. This is what we truly believe in, no matter what technology does, that at the end of the day, we need to create personal, very special things that support people in their daily lives. And with that, I thank you.